Bashina. Thank you. Let's hold you up there and maybe do a quick switch to the issue of state police. This is, again, we'll be talking about federalism, we'll be talking about democracy. So, a quick one. Let's know your thoughts about what the presidency or the president himself and the Senate did yesterday as it concerns the state police.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, can you hear me?
We can hear you clearly. If you can hear us,
Just go ahead.
Mr. Bosun, go ahead.
Just go.
So I would say that for me, I think it's a right decision in the right direction because right from when I was in secondary school, I've been hearing about true federalism. We'll be talking about we are a federal state. As a matter of fact, as a government student, I wrote extensively at both ordinary level and advanced levels on the concept of federalism. So it's a concept that I'm familiar with so much, and for a plural society like ours, where you have diverse religion, diverse ethnicity, people of different backgrounds coming together to form a country. So the best thing for us is to practice what we call true federalism, because if you look at Nigeria from independence, you will discover that immediately after independence, when we had regional governments, regions were developing at their own pace. The premier of Western region in person of Obafemi Awolowo, he was an embodiment of exemplary leadership. He introduced education to his people. He made education compulsory. And that is why till tomorrow, his people are still being envied as far as education is concerned in Nigeria. So he not only stopped at that, they created economy within their own region. Cocoa as a major product from the West that time was used to produce things that made life more comfortable for his own people. They built the cocoa house, 25-story in Ibadan, which is still standing till today, was built from cocoa exploration from we have University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. We have the first television station in Africa. Before it also brought their own a year after. So many things, and there was healthy competition within different regions. All of a sudden, the military came and disrupted that regionalization and that system of government, and we came under a unitary system of government. And since that time, we have been going from one challenge to the other. If one region wants to go, the other one that is not ready yet is drawing it back. So that is why I believe that if there is structural regional government, the kind of restructuring that will enable every state or region to develop at their own state, that will be the best for us. And one of them is state police. That was just the bill was just sent to the National Assembly the day before yesterday, and by yesterday it was passed. Some people had a problem with the fact that within 24 hours it was passed. I think for me, security situation in Nigeria today has assumed emergency proportion, and that is why even if we can pass bill within 1 hour that will solve Nigerian security issue, nobody should make noise about it. It's not something that we should waste time on, that we should take another 3 years before we get something like this done. So for me, I believe it's a commendable effort. Some people have been asking, why should it take this long for the president to take this step that is taking? And I tell them that government is not It's not something, there are a number of processes involved in some of these things. It's only when it comes to the fall like this that you know. Efforts have been on ground, going on for quite some time. Consultations have to take place. You have to consult with our critical stakeholders to understand and arrive at how this thing can be pursued. And today it is being passed by the Senate, waiting for concurrence from the House of Rep, and to also go to the 36 states of the Federation, where 2/3 of the states will have to, House of Assemblies have to support this cause. But I want to say that it will be a game changer as far as Nigerian security problem is concerned, because what that does now is that the Commissioner of Police in each state will now be under some level of control. It may not be absolute control, but at least greater level of control of the state governors. Then again, they now have access to use light weapons like AK-47, AK-49, the way the bandits are carrying it around. So it's not that recently I was hearing that over 30-something Amotekun guys were killed in the forest in Oyo State. Why would you expect somebody holding their gun, or even not holding gun at all, to go and confront bandits? It's just like we are wasting their lives. But when something like this bill see the light of the day and it is assented to by the president, I can tell you that it now offers a kind of relief. Now there will be better training, there will be better funding. Then those people that are trained now and are funded can now have the requisite weapons to face these criminals. And the good thing about it is that many of the people that will be recruited will be working within their locality. So they know the place better. There's no way you can tell me somebody who comes from Niger, from Mali, from far north, we know my state than me. We know my local government than me. So people that are recruited within that local environment will surely have upper hand in terms of intelligence, in terms of the roots within that area. So I believe it's going to be a game changer. All we say is that Nigerians should watch out. They should not go to sleep, because I know there are some loopholes that the politicians will want to exploit even within the bill. However, I like where
you went with the loopholes there. Bosun, if you can hear me, I like where you went with the loopholes there, because that's the biggest concern a lot of Nigerians had. Elections are coming. We have also heard about a lot of people, conspiracy theories you may call it, about this being assented so quickly, because some people will want to use the elections as a tool to rather the state police as to manipulate and intimidate people even more. That's something that we are unable to really comment on, because there's no evidence to that. Moreover, I would expect that every individual that's serving Nigeria should have dignity to ensure you're not swayed by the political public office holders. However, who pays the piper dictates the tone. We are trying to adopt the American system, but the American system is such that there are laws that protect these individuals.
That's true.
You can go against your governor and say that no, I am arresting your child, and that is that because I'm upholding the law. If it ever has to be put, to test in a judicial setting, the police is absolved of all of that. But here, even when we had the federal policing, we saw the intimidation that happened. How is it now phrased? Those who have, the haves and the have-nots. It was obvious. You could see that some policemen were allocated or attached to public office holders. A lot of them, and you ask yourself, this is a country that says we have only 44,000 men boots on the ground, and this number is protecting only a certain people. That in itself shows you the kind of influence that they have. So the concerns are legitimate, especially as elections are coming. I like where he went. I wish we had him longer to discuss these concerns, especially during elections that were all.
I really hope that going forward we'll discuss deeply on this issue, because again, currently governors are actually tapped the chief security officers of their state yet they do not have full control of the police. Now, would the state police solve this contradiction? Will it now make them the real chief security officers? And if they become the real chief security officers, what will they bring to the table as it has to do with the security concerns and the state of their state? And of course, how will they now display the real chief security officer that they have been actually tapped over the years? And then another concern will now be on the welfare of these persons that will now be employed to work as a state police.
I think some of the people who kicked against it talked about the welfare and all that. But one thing you must look into, which is something that I really love, is now there would be security present in rural areas that are often without. I'm hoping that the architecture will be structured better.
I've had another concern. I've had just a very, maybe it could be a contradicting one, but I've been thinking again over the years. We've been talking about the whole security votes that come from the federal government to the states. How would it be used? So how would this be used exactly for the state police that we will soon have? And want to see how this will be used, how it will play out.
Absolutely.
That would have security, and then they will be well funded.
Bosun Adeyeye, once again, I thank you for being part of today's edition of the program. It's always wonderful to have these conversations. But here we are at the end of today's edition of RAZEP Africa. We've had this beautiful conversation around government, the intersection between whether government even understands the realities of Nigerians economically, and we also got to the constitutional amendment that gave states the opportunity to have their police force. But that's it for today's edition. Anita Nwe has been a wonderful co-host this morning.
Thank you very much, Joy. It has been a wonderful time being here, and we hope to be here tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.